There are two kinds of people in a burning castle: those who run to the gates, and those who run toward the screaming. On the night of the third bell, when the east tower of Ironhome cracked open like a split bone and fire poured out like something alive, the woman wearing the crown ran to the gates. She didn't look back. Pause. But the woman with nothing, no title, no bloodline, no right to even speak in the great hall, she was already running the other way, barefoot, on cold stone, toward two small boys screaming her name inside a collapsing tower that nobody expected her to survive. Here's what they don't tell you about courage. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't dress well. It doesn't arrive with a crown or a war horse or an army behind it. Sometimes courage looks like rough-spun wool and blistered hands and a girl who decided, in the space between one heartbeat and the next, that those children were hers to protect. Not by blood, not by law, by choice. And choice, real, costly, irreversible choice, is the only currency that actually means anything. Beat. Now here's where it gets complicated. The Alpha King was 40 miles away when it happened, when he felt something hit him in the chest like a crossbow bolt. Not pain, but wrongness, and rode through the night not knowing what he was riding toward. What he found in the rubble, he wasn't ready for. Because the woman he pulled from that ash, the woman who had been invisible in his own castle for 2 years, looked up at him with soot on her face and his sons pressed against her chest, and something ancient cracked open inside him. He had been sleeping 50 steps from his true mate, and it took a fire set by someone he trusted to show him what was standing right in front of him the whole time. Someone started that blaze deliberately, and that someone is still inside the walls. If you want to know who and why, and what Nora does when she finds out the truth about the bread she'd been eating every single day for 2 years, stay with me. This story will wreck you in the best way. Midnight in Ironhome Keep, and Nora Johan is invisible again. She sits in the servant's loft by a single tallow candle, needle moving through the torn seam of Erling's woolen tunic, the one he shredded climbing the inner wall for the 3rd time this month. Fillip's boots are already lined up by the hearth, toes pointed out, the way he likes them. She knows this. She knows which twin sleeps on his stomach, which one wakes from nightmares, which one needs the door left open a crack or the dark becomes something with teeth. Their mother does not know these things. The head steward passes the loft entrance without slowing. No acknowledgement. No nod. She is furniture to him. Useful, stationary, unworthy of eye contact. Then a junior guard stops in the doorway, grins at nothing in particular, and blows her candle out like it's sport. Darkness. Nora relights it without a word, without flinching. Because here is what 2 years in the lowest rank of a great castle teaches you. You learn to carry your own light. You learn that being unseen is not the same as being nothing. You learn it in your chest, quietly, because nobody is going to announce it for you. And maybe, that's something you need to hear right now too. You have been doing the invisible work, the thankless work, the work that keeps everything standing while everyone else gets the credit. And you have been doing it well, in silence, in the dark, with no one watching. That is not weakness. That is a kind of strength most people will never understand. Then Aurora sweeps through the corridor below, fur-lined cloak, jewels catching torchlight, chin lifted at an angle that has never once dropped toward the servant's loft. She does not look up. She never looks up. Nora watches her go. Oliver has been at the southern border for 6 days. The keep feels like a held breath, like a castle waiting for something it doesn't have a name for yet. Nora ties off the last stitch, sets down the tunic, and then, through the arrow-slit window, something reaches her. Not cookfire, not the hearth, not the pine torches in the outer yard. Something older, something that makes her hands go still. The east tower is already gone. Not going. Gone. A column of orange and black punching straight up into the night sky, sparks peeling off it like dying stars, the roar of it swallowing every other sound in the world. Nora is running before the shock can catch her, bare feet on frozen cobblestones. No cloak, no weapon, nothing but the sound of her own breathing and the name of 2 boys hammering inside her chest like a war drum. Then she rounds the inner courtyard wall and stops. Not at the tower. Not at the tower. Aurora Hammer, Luna of Ironhome, is at the stables. The white horse is already saddled. A guard Nora has never seen before. Not a castle guard. Not their guard. holds the reins with the easy patience of a man who has been waiting. Aurora moves toward him with the same unhurried grace she brings to every throne room entrance, every feast, every performance. A saddlebag is tucked behind the saddle. Packed, prepared, Nora cannot move. For one fractured second, one single heartbeat stretched thin as wire, Aurora's eyes find hers across the torchlit yard. She doesn't stop. She swings up onto the horse like it's a morning ride. Like the tower behind them isn't screaming. Like there are no small boys inside those walls calling for someone, anyone, who loves them. She kicks her heels. The white horse surges through the open gate and swallows itself into the treeline. The gate closes. And here is the thing nobody tells you about the moments that define you. They don't feel significant when they arrive. They feel impossible. They feel like the ground has dissolved and there is nothing left to stand on, and every reasonable voice in your head is saying you can't. You're not enough. That fire will kill you. Every single voice. Nora turns back to the burning tower and runs toward it anyway, because somewhere inside those collapsing walls, two small boys are screaming her name. And she is the only one left who came back for them. The only one. What happens when she reaches the door? The door is bolted. Not stuck. Not swollen from the heat. Bolted from the outside. Someone locked these children in. That thought will matter later. Right now, Nora's hands are already on the exterior supply rope, and the stone wall beneath her palms is radiating heat like the mouth of a forge, and she is climbing anyway. Hand over hand. The rope frays against her fingers. Her palms blister. She doesn't stop. She can hear Erling, still calling her name through the smoke. Small voice, cracking at the edges, but there, still there. That voice is a rope of a different kind, and she is holding it with everything she has. She reaches the window, pulls herself through. The room is a furnace. The air itself is a weapon, thick, oily, black. She tries to stand, and her lungs reject it instantly. So she drops, face to the floor, crawls on her elbows through the heat and the roaring dark, following the sound of his voice, following nothing else. And then she finds them. Behind the heavy stone baptismal basin in the corner, Fillip unconscious, completely still, his small hand locked inside both of Erling's. Erling, shaking so hard she can feel it from 2 feet away, eyes streaming, but holding on. Not letting go of his brother for a single second. Something breaks open in Nora's chest. She pulls them both under the basin, presses them against her body, every inch of them, as much coverage as she can make of herself. She covers their faces with her underdress and puts her mouth close to their hair and says the only thing that matters. Don't let go. I have you. I am not leaving. The ceiling comes down in pieces, and Nora curves her spine over those 2 boys like a vault, like a wall, like a woman who has decided, completely, irreversibly, with every bone she owns, that the fire will have to go through her first. This is what a mother does. Not the woman who births the child, the woman who stays. And somewhere, 40 miles away, a king just felt something crack open in his chest. It hits him like a blade through the sternum. Not pain, wrongness. A wrongness so total, so cellular, that Oliver Hammer is on his feet before the thought forms. His wolf slamming against the inside of his chest like something that knows, like something that has always known, like something that has been waiting for permission to scream. He rides through the night. He kills 2 horses doing it. He arrives to find the East Tower a smoldering skeleton against a gray dawn sky. And Aurora, standing in the outer courtyard, her cloak pristine, tears tracking perfectly down perfect cheeks, already performing grief for the gathered guards. Already building the story. She barely escaped. It happened so fast. She tried. Oliver looks at her. He is a wolf. He has been a wolf his entire life. And what a wolf knows, above all else, is scent. He smells cold pine, horse sweat, road dust, the specific smell of someone who has been riding away from something for hours. He does not smell smoke. He does not smell ash. He does not smell a single singed thread. He says nothing, because a soldier is suddenly shouting from the ruins. Alpha, there are heartbeats in the rubble. Oliver runs. He tears through collapsed stone with bare hands. And if you have ever loved something so completely that losing it rewrites your entire understanding of yourself, then you already know what is happening inside him right now. Some griefs don't wait for confirmation. They arrive early and they take up all the air. He finds the basin. He finds his sons, breathing, and the sound that leaves him is not a word. And then he sees her, curved around them like a vault, like she decided she was the wall and simply became it. A young woman he has passed in the corridor 100 times. 100 times. Never slowed. Never seen. He reaches in. His fingers find her cheek. And the world. The entire architecture of everything Oliver Hammer has ever understood about power, about loyalty, about who was always meant to stand beside him. Tilts. Something ancient recognizes something ancient, and it will never unknow her again. Oliver does not leave the room. They ask him 3 times. A steward, then a guard captain, then Sister Marin herself, who has the particular courage of a woman who has told kings uncomfortable things before. He doesn't answer any of them. He simply sits in the corner chair in his road filthy clothes, elbows on his knees, eyes fixed on the girl in the bed like she might disappear if he looks away. He has been a king for 11 years. He has sat with dying soldiers. He has delivered sentences that ended lives. He has never once felt as helpless as he does in this chair, in this room, watching someone's chest rise and fall and not being able to do anything but watch. At dawn, Marin pulls him into the corridor. Her face gives nothing away. That is how he knows it's bad. Moonbane, she says. Trace amounts in the blood, but chronic. Minimum 6 months of exposure. Ground fine, tasteless, undetectable unless you know to look. Mixed into the coarse flour used only for the staff bread ration. Oliver goes very still. Moonbane is not a poison. It is a silencer. An ancient suppressant, outlawed by pack law for 2 centuries. Engineered to do one specific thing: mask a wolf's scent. Smother the instinctual pull of a mate bond before it can surface. Keep someone chemically invisible to the person their soul was built to find. Someone did this deliberately. Someone identified Nora the week she arrived, watched Oliver's wolf grow restless without understanding why, and made a decision. Not neglect. Surgery. He stands in that corridor for a long time, not moving. The kind of stillness that happens when a man is doing the quiet, devastating mathematics of what was stolen from him. From her. From 2 years that cannot be returned. Then he hears it, through the closed door, rough and dry and the best sound he has heard in his entire life. Erling Fillip. Where are Erling and Fillip? Oliver presses his fist to his mouth. Because the first thing she asks about, still, is not herself. It was never herself. And somewhere in the castle, someone who knew exactly what Nora was, is still walking free. She walks in like she owns the floor beneath her feet. That is the first thing you notice. Aurora Hammer, found at a border in 3 days later, still in her riding clothes, mid-negotiation for passage into Tangstad's territory, walks into the great hall of Ironhome with her chin lifted and her eyes steady, and the particular composure of a woman who has decided that confidence is its own defense. She has a story. She has prepared a story. The nanny, unstable, obsessive, dangerously attached to children she had no claim to. Aurora's voice is steady, grief-threaded, perfectly calibrated. She fled to get help. She would never. She tried. She is their mother. And here is the thing about a well-constructed lie. It almost works. It almost always almost works. Because people want to believe the person who looks the part. People want the story that makes sense. People want to avoid the version of events that means everything they trusted was hollow. Oliver lets her speak. Every word. He does not interrupt. He does not react. He stands at the head of the great table with the stillness of a man who already knows the ending and is simply waiting for her to finish. Then he places 2 things on the table. A folded parchment, the deed to a property in Tangstad's territory, purchased 4 months ago, Aurora's name on the seal, and a letter, wax still intact when his riders intercepted it at the inn. Aurora's handwriting, addressed to Julian Tangstad. It is done. The tower will not hold them. Meet me at the ridge. The great hall goes so silent you could hear a torch gutter. Aurora's composure, that magnificent, iron-spined composure, cracks. Just once. Just enough. Oliver does not shout. He does not rage. He does not give her the drama she could spin into sympathy. He says, quietly, "Guards." The Luna title is stripped before sundown. No ceremony. No appeal. And you need to understand something. This is what accountability looks like when it finally arrives. Not loud. Not theatrical. Just 2 pieces of parchment and a silence that speaks for itself. But Aurora, even in silver chains, is still smiling slightly. And that should terrify you. 3 weeks later, Nora is apologizing for her chamber again. It is half the size of Aurora's former dressing room. She apologizes for it anyway, to the maid, to Oliver, to anyone who walks past the door, because 2 years of being the smallest person in every room leaves a residue. It rewires something. It teaches you to shrink preemptively before anyone asks you to. Maybe you know that feeling. Oliver stops her mid-apology the third time, just looks at her, says nothing, but his eyes say, "Stop making yourself smaller to make others comfortable." She is not ready to hear it yet, but she will be. He brings her to the War Council anyway. General William objects before she sits down, loudly, with the specific contempt of a man who has confused longevity with wisdom and rank with intelligence. The other commanders say nothing, which is its own kind of agreement. Nora takes the seat at the far end of the table, the furthest from the map, the furthest from power, and she folds her hands and she listens. Tangstad's forces are hitting the northern border. Feint attacks, supply line disruptions, burning grain stores. The generals want to march directly on his stronghold. They have battle maps and scar tissue and decades of strategy between them. Nora says nothing for 20 minutes. Then, quietly, "That's what he wants." The room turns. General Williams' expression could strip bark off timber. She stands. She walks to the map. And she speaks, not in the language of military theory, but in the language of someone who spent 2 years pouring wine while men talked over her, as if she were furniture. She heard everything. She remembered everything. She understood more than any of them knew. She points to the real staging ground. The decoy, the trap closing around them like a jaw. A scout rides out. 2 hours later, he confirms every word. General William does not apologize, but he moves his chair, slightly, almost imperceptibly, toward the end of the table where she's sitting. He never dismisses her again. And here is what that moment teaches. The most dangerous person in any room is the one everyone forgot was listening. But what Nora doesn't know yet is that someone at that table already knew she'd figure it out. Tangstad's message arrives at dawn, rolled in black wax. Oliver reads it once, sets it down, and the look that crosses his face is not fear. It is something quieter and more dangerous than fear. It is the expression of a man doing the calculation between what is strategically sound and what his soul will not permit him to abandon. Adrian, his brother in everything but blood, captured at the border crossing. The terms are simple. Alpha to Alpha, Old River Crossing. No guard, no wolf form. Every commander in the fortress tells him it's a trap. They are correct. Oliver knows they are correct. He begins preparing to leave anyway, because there are people in this world whose lives you would walk into a trap for. And if you have ever loved someone like that, you already understand. You don't explain it. You just go. Nora is in the corridor when he passes. She has been noticing something for days, writing it off, second-guessing herself, doing the thing that invisible people learn to do, doubting their own perception before anyone else can. Captain Tobias's scent has been masked. Marin's poultice, she told herself. A shoulder wound. Reasonable. Except, in the corridor light, something shifts. Beneath the medicinal cover, beneath the wool and the leather and the authority of his rank. Iron, cold ash, and something else, something she has smelled once before. 6 months ago, a stranger at the kitchen entrance with a basket of herbs, telling the cook they were from the Luna's personal garden. The same hands, the same scent signature, the same man. She grabs Oliver's arm, tells him everything, voice steady, even though her heart is not. His eyes don't widen. They go hard and flat and very, very still, the way a weapon goes still before it moves. He believes her. Immediately. Completely. Without asking her to prove it. Do you understand how much that matters? When someone finally just believes you. He kisses her forehead. Hard. Desperate. A kiss that is not romantic so much as gravitational. The kind that says you are the thing I am coming back for. Then he walks out. And Nora is alone in the fortress. With the traitor, who just heard everything she said. The gates haven't even closed before Tobias stops pretending. No gradual reveal. No warning. The mask just drops. Like he's been holding it for months and is relieved to finally set it down. 6 men materialize from the corridor shadows. Not castle guards. Not familiar faces. Rogues. 3 days in grain carts. She'll learn later. Silver manacles in Tobias's left hand. A blade in his right. Angled low. The way you hold a blade when the target is small. When the target is child-sized. Nora is already moving. Here is what 2 years of invisibility actually gives you. Not wounds, not weakness, not the permanent smallness everyone assumed it would. It gives you knowledge. Every passage, every forgotten stairwell, every locked door, and exactly which nail the key hangs on. The entire architecture of a fortress that never once noticed it was being memorized. She gets the twins first. Always the twins first. The aqueduct tunnel behind the chapel hearth. Erling's secret, sworn to silence after a hide-and-seek game that went too deep. She pulls the stone. She pushes them through, presses a torch into Erling's hands, and looks at both of them with the specific expression that means this is not a game and you know it. Don't stop. She watches their footsteps disappear into the dark. Then she turns around. Tobias is in the corridor, 6 men behind him, and Nora is standing between them and the chapel wall with an iron fire poker and something rising in her chest that she does not have a name for yet. Amber light bleeding into her eyes, something ancient grinding awake like a millstone that has been still too long, furious and enormous and done. Done being manageable. Done being the woman who relights her candle quietly after someone blows it out. Done. She doesn't win the fight. She was never going to win the fight. 6 trained rogues against a nanny with a fire poker and a wolf still learning her own name. But winning was never the point. The point was to hold, to stay conscious, to keep breathing long enough for the bond to do the one thing it was built to do. Find him and scream. 8 miles out, Oliver Hammer stops breathing. Not a whisper, not a tremor. A war horn, inside his skull, beneath every thought he has ever had, in a frequency that belongs to no human language. One word, not even a word. A direction, a pulse so violent it snaps his head around before his mind catches up. He turns the horse mid-stride. His men see his eyes and do not ask questions. They simply ride. He shifts before he reaches the gates. And if you have never seen what a true alpha wolf looks like at full fury, understand this. The massive black beast that fills the stone archway of Stoneback Fortress. Ember eyes burning, too large, too primal, chest heaving with a sound that is less a growl than a verdict. The rogues don't fight it. They break. They scatter like ashen wind, because some things bypass courage entirely and speak directly to survival. Tobias is already unconscious in the corridor. Nora is on the stone floor, and from somewhere behind the chapel wall, 2 small voices are calling her name. Oliver shifts, drops to his knees beside her. Both hands find her face, careful, enormous, shaking slightly in a way that no one who knows the Alpha King would believe. And he presses his forehead to hers and stays there. Not moving, not speaking, just breathing her in, confirming what the bond already screamed at him. Alive. Here. Yours. Then, quietly, where are they? She tells him. He finds them. He carries them back himself. And for the first time in this entire story, all 4 of them on the cold corridor floor, soot and blood and torchlight, Erling pressed against Nora's side, Fillip asleep in Oliver's arms. Nothing is burning. Nothing. 6 months later, Nora Johan stands on the ramparts of the rebuilt Hammer Keep. The gown is deep winter blue. The crown is raw iron and carved bone. Aurora's jeweled one was melted down, every stone sold. The gold reforged into something that cannot be bought or inherited or performed. Simple, unbreakable, just like her. Oliver places it on her head before 4,000 wolves. Erling and Fillip grip her hands on either side, waving at the crowd with their free ones like they have been practicing. The pack howls, and the sound rolls off the mountains and returns twice as loud, doubled by the peaks, filling the valley like something the earth itself is confirming. Nora looks at Oliver. He is not watching the crowd. He has not looked at the crowd once. They're howling for you, he says. She squeezes the twins' hands, feels their small fingers tighten back immediately, instinctively, the way they always have. They're howling for all of us, she says. And the Alpha King, the man who once walked past an Omega nanny 50 steps from his own hearth without slowing, without seeing, without once understanding what was standing right in front of him, smiles. Fully. For the first time in years. Here is what this story was always really about. It was never about the fire. It was never about the crown. It was about a woman who was told, by rank, by poison, by the deliberate architecture of her own invisibility, that she was background, that she was furniture, that the story belonged to someone else. And she saved 2 children anyway. She held a corridor with a fire poker anyway. She walked into every room they didn't want her in, and she told the truth anyway. That is the kind of woman a kingdom bends toward. That is the kind of person the right people, the ones worth keeping, will always, eventually, see. You are not background. You never were. The question is whether you'll keep showing up long enough to let the story prove it. Long live the Luna. Long live the Queen. And if this story lit something up in you, hit that subscribe button. Because next week, we have a rejected mate, a secret alpha, and a betrayal so deep it rewrites everything you thought you knew about loyalty. You do not want to miss it.